Climate change, a global phenomenon that if only the warning were heeded to, its effect could have been controlled. But now reality is dawning on farmers, especially on the country's highlands. A new threat is in the offing, one that could drastically reduce Kenya's tea production over the next 40 years, with suitable lands being pushed further up the altitude, denting earnings from one of the country's top hard currency sources. In the findings of a new research, scientists say that land under tea will reduce by 42% by the year 2050, creating excess capacity in tea factories dependent on the catchments.
It is predicted that by 2050, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the air will be about 700 parts per million. That means it shall have almost doubled from the current scenario.
Areas west of the Rift Valley, particularly Nandi, Kericho and Gucha, will be the most affected, according to the scientists. They also predict that producers in Bomet, Kisii and Nyamira will need to adapt their farm management to the new conditions. The overall climate will become less seasonal in terms of variation throughout the year, with temperatures in some districts increasing by about 1 degree Celsius by 2020 and by 2.3 degrees Celsius by the year 2050.
Soil pH there is around, most times because of high rainfall, the soil pH there is around 4.5. With higher rainfall, the pH will go lower. That means it will be less than maybe 4 or less than 3. And when that happens, that might not be the most suitable pH for tea cultivation.
An optimum tea producing zone is at an altitude of between 1,500 and 2,100 meters above sea level. It is predicted that by the year 2050, this will increase to an altitude of between 2,000 and 2,300 meters above sea level. Higher temperatures, drier weather and lack of sun are likely to reduce the yield and damage many tea plants, together with erosion and landslides on the steep hillsides due to heavy periodic rainfall.
What is happening? The soil is the biggest storage of carbon currently. The soil as it is stores about 2,700 gigatons of carbon. It stores more than what is contained in biomass, yeah, and what is contained in the atmosphere.
So we were warned, but since the reality is here, there are measures that the scientists recommend, which include crop diversification, coffee being the better alternative since it performs similar to tea. For more than 90% of tea growing sites, maize and cabbage will remain constant and peas will be much more suitable on 90% of the sites. By the year 2050, passion fruit will be much more suitable on 51% of the sites and bananas will account for 14%. Imagine this kind of weather without a hot, steamy and sweet cup of tea. Quite inevitable, right? Well, that may be the reality if we do not take good care of our environment. And small-scale farmers are being forced to uproot this rich crop. It's time to green the tea. And we have to do that by avoiding losing its taste in the near future. American Zoka reporting for KTN, Eco Journal.